Welcome back to today's video. In this episode, follow the journey of a man as he builds a stone house on a hillside.
Watch as he skillfully transforms natural materials into a sturdy shelter. Stay tuned until the end to witness the stunning final result.
With deliberate movements, he marks key points across the slope, outlining the boundaries of what will become his new home. Once the layout is fully mapped out, the real work begins, preparing the foundation. This is no easy task, especially when working with only simple tools and natural materials. Undeterred, he begins to dig, using a shovel and his own strength to carve into the earth. Next, he turns his attention to crafting a sturdy wooden fence at the front of the site. Selecting straight and strong logs from nearby trees, he carefully saws each piece to the desired length. The rhythmic sound of the saw echoes through the hillside as one by one the wooden stakes are prepared. With the logs ready, he begins assembling the fence, driving each post firmly into the ground. The fence serves more than just an aesthetic purpose. It is an essential part of the construction process. Positioned at the front edge of the site, it acts as a retaining structure to hold back the soil and elevate the front portion of the floor. To complete the fence, he carefully threads horizontal wooden beams through the upright posts. Each beam is measured and fitted with precision, ensuring a tight and secure connection between the vertical supports. One by one, the beams are placed, gradually forming a strong and cohesive structure. With the front fence now firmly in place, he returns to the task of completing the foundation of the house. He begins by leveling the ground within the marked area, removing loose soil, and compacting the surface to create a firm and stable base. He selects large, sturdy logs, long enough to serve as key structural elements for the house. Once the logs are cut, he turns to the meticulous task of stripping away their bark. Using a hand tool, he peels back the rough outer layer, revealing the smooth, pale wood beneath. This not only enhances the appearance of the logs, but also helps preserve them by removing moisture-trapping bark that could lead to decay. With the large wooden beams now prepared, he moves on to the next crucial step, making them ready for placement in the ground. To do this, he first builds a small campfire. Carefully arranging dry branches and kindling, he ignites the pile. Once the fire is well established, he begins to char the ends of the wooden beams. One by one, he places the bottom portion of each beam into the flames, allowing the intense heat to scorch and blacken the surface. With the beam ends now charred and ready, he turns his focus to positioning the support posts. Along the front edge of the construction site, he carefully measures and marks the spots where each post will stand, ensuring consistent spacing and alignment. As the row of posts rises from the earth, a new stage of the house begins to take shape, a strong and stable frame emerging against the backdrop of the hillside. With the front row of vertical posts now firmly in place, he begins shaping the entrance of the house. Focusing on the two central posts that will frame the doorway, he carefully lifts and positions a strong horizontal beam to span the gap between them. But the work doesn't stop there. To give the future roof a graceful, elevated shape, he adds additional vertical beams above the entrance frame. With the entrance frame and central roof ridge in place, he moves on to the next vital phase, reinforcing and connecting the structure. Methodically, he selects additional wooden beams and carefully positions them to link the vertical posts along the walls. Turning his attention upward, he begins adding more beams to shape the roof's framework. Stretching from the central ridge to the tops of the side walls, each beam is measured, cut, and securely fastened. Gradually, a lattice of wooden rafters emerges, forming the skeleton of the roof. With the main structure of the house taking shape, he now turns his attention to crafting one of its most essential features, a stone stove for cooking and warmth. He begins by venturing into the surrounding landscape, searching for the right materials. One by one, he gathers sturdy, well-shaped stones, selecting them for their size, flat surfaces, and ability to retain heat. To bind the stones together, he prepares a natural mortar. First, he constructs a raised platform, stacking flat stones and securing them with thick layers of mud mortar. This elevated base lifts the stove above the floor, protecting the wooden structure and making it more comfortable to use. He shapes the firebox. Using larger stones, he forms a rectangular chamber where the fire will burn. He leaves a small opening at the front for adding wood and controlling airflow. The inside of the chamber is carefully smoothed and reinforced with additional mud, designed to withstand high temperatures and contain the flames. To complete the stove, he built a tall chimney to safely vent the smoke outside the house. He stacked the stones layer by layer, gradually extending the chimney over and beyond the roof frame. This ensured that the smoke will be carried high above the living space. He selects several sturdy wooden planks, each one carefully cut and smooth. These will be used to build a simple yet functional storage box. Measuring and aligning the boards with precision, he begins assembling them into a rectangular frame. He used nails to secure each board together, making sure that each joint was strong and square. Now turning his focus to building the walls, he puts his handmade wooden box to good use. Filling it with freshly mixed mud, he creates a convenient container for transporting and storing the natural mortar needed for construction. With everything in place, he begins the patient and deliberate process of laying the stone walls. Carefully selecting each stone for size, shape, and stability, he starts stacking them along the foundation. A generous layer of mud is spread between the stones, acting as a binding agent and helping to lock them securely in place. Stone by stone, layer by layer, the walls begin to rise. The process requires a keen eye and a steady hand. Each piece must fit snugly with its neighbors to create a strong and stable structure. From time to time, he steps back to check the alignment and strength of the growing walls, making small adjustments to ensure they remain level and true. He moves seamlessly from one wall to the next, working his way around the structure. The rhythm of the build continues, selecting stones, apply mortar, and carefully placing each one by hand. For every stone, he takes a moment to assess its shape and weight, visualizing how it will fit into the growing wall. He rotates and adjusts each piece until it finds its perfect position, ensuring a tight fit with the surrounding stones. This careful placement is essential, as the strength of the entire wall depends on the precise interlocking of its components. As he moves from corner to corner, the house begins to feel more enclosed, each new wall adding to the sense of space and shelter. As the stone walls rise higher, he begins preparing for one of the house's key features, windows that will bring light and air into the space. He selects sturdy wooden planks and begins constructing simple, functional window frames. Each plank is carefully cut, smooth, and joined together to form a strong rectangular structure. The frames must be precisely built to fit perfectly within the reserved spaces in the stone walls. Once the frames are assembled, he lifts them into position. With careful movements, he fits each frame into its designated opening, adjusting and securing it firmly in place. Wooden pegs and additional support beams are used to anchor the frames to the surrounding stone, ensuring they remain stable and square. With the window frames now installed, the house begins to feel more open and inviting. These small openings will soon allow sunlight to stream inside, breathing life into the stone structure and connecting the interior with the natural beauty of the hillside beyond. He returned to the steady task of building the stone wall. He carefully continued to select and place the stones, filling in the remaining gaps around the wooden frame and continuing to build higher. Gradually, the stone wall was completed, enclosing the entire space of the house. With the stone walls now standing strong, he turns his focus upward to the roof, the final layer of protection for the home. Climbing up onto the sturdy roof frame he had previously built, he begins the careful task of sealing the structure. One by one, he lifts wide wooden planks, prepared earlier for this purpose. Each plank is positioned across the rafters, spanning the gaps in the frame. Each plank is checked for alignment and firmly fixed in place, creating a continuous shield over the living space below. He carefully trims away the excess edges of the planks. Using a sharp saw, he methodically cuts along the outer lines of the roof, removing any overhanging or uneven sections. Once the edges are neatly trimmed, he moves on to the next step, adding a protective border around the perimeter of the roof. He selects long, sturdy strips of wood and fastens them along the outer edge, creating a strong frame that encloses the entire roof. With the wooden roof now fully enclosed and edged, he takes extra steps to ensure it will be well protected against the elements. He carefully spreads a large sheet of nylon across the entire surface of the roof. Working methodically, he smooths the material out over the wooden planks, ensuring it lies flat and reaches all corners. Once the nylon is securely in place, he begins adding another protective layer of earth. Shovelful by shovelful, he spreads a thick layer of soil evenly across the surface. The earth not only helps to weigh down the nylon, holding it firmly in place, but also provides natural insulation, helping to regulate temperature inside the house and further shielding the structure from rain and wind. By collecting fresh moss from the nearby forest. Soft, vibrant green, the moss is carefully gathered in clumps, chosen for its density and ability to thrive on the earthy surface of the roof. Returning to the house, he gently places the moss across the soil layer, spreading it evenly to encourage healthy growth. As the work progresses, the roof transforms from a simple earthen layer into a living, breathing extension of the hillside. The soft carpet of moss and stone not only offers additional insulation and protection, but also gives the home a timeless, organic charm. Turning his attention back to the chimney, he begins the next step, extending it high to ensure proper ventilation for the stove. The tall chimney not only ensures a clean burning stove, but also adds a timeless, rustic charm to the home, a final functional detail crafted with the same care and patience as the rest of the build. Inside the house, with the walls and roof complete, he turns his attention to finishing the floor, creating a solid, comfortable surface to walk upon. He begins by spreading a thick, even layer of mud across the entire floor area. Carefully smoothing it out, he ensures that the surface is level and compact, providing a firm base for the next step of the process. With the mud layer in place, he starts selecting flat, well-shaped stones from his collection. One by one, he lays the stones into the mud, gently pressing them down and adjusting their position to create a stable and even surface. The placement of each stone requires care and precision to ensure there are no gaps or uneven edges. Gradually, the floor transforms from bare earth into a beautiful mosaic of stone. Durable, easy to maintain, and perfectly suited to the rustic charm of the house. As he steps back to admire the finished floor, the space feels warmer and more complete, one step closer to becoming a welcoming home. Moving on to the windows, he begins adding the finishing touches that will bring light and warmth into the home while protecting it from the elements. He carefully measures and cuts slender wooden strips to frame the edges of each window opening. These wooden borders not only reinforce the window structure, but also provide a clean, polished outline that complements the rustic stone walls. He prepares transparent plastic sheets to serve as window panes. Lightweight yet durable, these sheets will allow natural light to flood into the interior while keeping out wind, rain, and insects. Using narrow strips of wood, he carefully cuts them into a series of small, even notches, creating a charming sawtooth or zigzag pattern along each piece. Once the notch trim pieces are ready, he begins attaching them along the outer edges of the window frames. For the side window, he chooses a more functional and elegant design, a two-panel, hinge style that can open and close with ease. He begins by crafting two matching wooden frames, each carefully measured to fit one half of the window opening. After assembling the frames, he attaches clear plastic sheeting to each one, stretching the material taut and securing it firmly along the edges. Once both window panels are complete, he mounts them onto the window frame using sturdy hinges, allowing the panels to swing open and close smoothly. With the interior of the house, he started building a bed. Using thick wooden planks, he started building a sturdy frame. Each piece of wood was carefully measured, cut, and smoothed to ensure a tight fit and sturdy construction. On top of this frame, he lays wide wooden planks side by side, creating a firm and level sleeping surface. As the final nails are driven in and the frame is checked for balance, a robust and dependable bed takes shape. To complete the interior, he builds a simple wooden table and a set of matching chairs. Using sturdy planks and beams, he assembles the furniture with clean lines and solid joints. The table and chairs add both function and warmth to the space, providing a comfortable spot for dining, working, and relaxation, perfectly complementing the handcrafted charm of the home. For the entrance of the house, he sets out to build a strong and reliable wooden door. He selects thick, sturdy planks and carefully cuts them to size, ensuring they fit perfectly within the doorway. Once the door is complete, he mounts it on the heavy-duty hinges and installs it within the entrance frame. As it swings open and closed with ease, the door provides both security and a warm, welcoming touch to the home, marking the final step in transforming the shelter into a true living space. He installed curtains for the windows of the house, giving the house a finished look. With the house now complete, he finally takes a moment to enjoy the fruits of his labor. He prepares a simple meal to celebrate. Gathering fresh ingredients, he lights the stone stove for the first time, the crackling fire filling the room with gentle warmth. Using the handcrafted kitchen space, he cooks his dinner with care, a fitting tribute to the effort and dedication poured into building this shelter. And so, his journey comes to an end. Thank you for joining him throughout this adventure. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any future videos. Goodbye and see you next time.